Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 558. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward, joined by Chelle Honiker from Indie Author Magazine, the co-founder, the program director of Author Nation. I'm so glad you're here, Chelle.
I'm so glad to be here, Brian. Thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome. We did not talk enough about Indie Author Magazine last week. We talked about who your dream person would be, and you get to live your dreams with that.
I do.
Why a magazine? Why did
Oh,
we decide to create this magazine?
yeah. So the magazine was sort of born out of, the short-ish version is I had gone to the self-publishing show live in London,
Yep.
and I had met a bunch of folks there, and I'd met a bunch of folks at the 20 Books Edinburgh conference.
Yep.
And when lockdown happened, I was stuck in Ireland for 4 months.
Oh my
And
goodness.
during that time, I mean, I do have to say stuck with air quotes, though, because people get mad if I say stuck, because I wasn't really stuck. I just didn't want to come back. And I was in a small seaside cottage in Carnlough, and I was Zooming with everybody, and we were chatting and doing things, and we were sharing all of the things. So what was going on personally, but also what we were doing professionally to sell more books and the courses and the tools and the whatever. We started a spreadsheet. When the spreadsheet got to about 192 lines, we built a website. And then, because we couldn't talk about craft in certain Facebook groups, we said, well, we want to talk about this. So Alice Briggs had a background in magazine design. I had a background in magazine operations in the travel industry. So we smushed them together like peanut butter and chocolate, and came up with the magazine because we wanted to have context, and we wanted to point to things that people were doing in the industry that were working. We wanted to have evergreen conversations about things. And yeah, so that's the genesis of the magazine. It was, hey, let's go put on a show in Old Man Miller's barn. I guess we just all got together and did it. So
that's amazing.
yeah,
Old man Miller was, of course, in that seaside town, and there really was a barn.
He was, and he brought me sausage rolls every Tuesday.
So Old Man Miller. That's awesome, Chelle, and it's great that you guys have been able to produce this and print so many copies and spread the good word of indie author fun to people who normally would not have found it.
I mean, it's the truth, right? I say all the time that my job is to get up and play with my best friends every day. So if I can help other people do that too, because we are a very vibrant, generous, fun industry to be in. We are storytellers and dreamers. Like, there's nothing better. Nothing better.
Yeah. No, I love that. That is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that story.
Sure.
And y'all remember, go to indieauthormagazine.com. You can get your own magazine.
You could.
It's awesome.
44 issues as of today, and over 800 in-depth articles about all kinds of cool stuff.
Love it. That's great. Before we get into our top story of the week, two things. One, y'all, no one has answered our question of the week the last 2 weeks. Are you out there? Knock, 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 knock. Come on, come and answer. If you're listening, come and answer. If you're not listening, I don't know what to tell you. You should be. You should be listening. But second thing is, as a reminder from last week, our high-level programs are out there. This is like, Chelle, I feel like we need to keep doing a good job of telling people about this, me and the team. But we built the ladder. Free stuff to ad school to teach people how to get a couple $100 in monthly sales. We now have our 6-month Groundbreakers program to try to help authors get to $500 or more per month. We have now our Pathfinders program where I run it, trying to help authors who are at $2,500 a month to go beyond. And we have our author ad agency where we run Amazon ads for authors who are $6,000 and above. I can honestly say there are people that we have taken all the way up. And that's been really cool to have that ladder. you and I are both, from the entrepreneurial world. Coaching is so huge
It
in
is.
the entrepreneurial world. And in the author world, it's kind of like, hey, some people who are also full-time authors do a coaching every so often.
Right.
Like I've loved bringing more coaching to the author community. It's been a lot of fun because let's face it, some people need a coach.
Yeah, I think everybody needs a coach.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am without my coaches, and I've had coaches throughout my entire career, starting back in 1999 when I first started my company, and
Mm.
didn't know what I didn't know. Right, I
Mm-hmm.
knew a lot about the subject and the thing that I did, but I didn't know about business. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
about relationships. I didn't know how to get to the next level. I didn't know how to set goals properly. Right, so I think everybody needs a coach because they fill in the blanks for the unknown unknowns.
Yes. Yes. Well put. Well put. So if y'all want to apply for my coaching and my teams, the link is over there on the Sell More Book Show website. Let's get into the top story. I feel like, Chelle, me and Claire, I think Claire was still with the show when we were even covering this,
Uh-huh.
because it's been like a while and now it's like finally starting to come into fruition. So here we go with TikTok Press. TikTok isn't satisfied with making books popular. Now they want to publish them too, reports Ella Creamer of The Guardian. Quote, Eighth Note Press, an imprint launched by ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, will print novels in genres popular on BookTok, including young adult and contemporary fiction and romantasy, end quote. Eighth Note Press already publishes ebooks, but starting in February 2025, will also begin publishing physical copies in partnership with Zando, an independent publishing company. Eighth Note will primarily publish genres that are already popular with TikTok's BookTok crowd. The first print title, On Screen and Off Again by Caitlin Cross, is a, quote, romantic will they or won't they debut with a Hollywood twist, and is out February 4th. According to Jacob Bronstein, head of editorial and marketing at ByteDance, the imprint will be trend-led, genre second. Quote, we're thinking first, what do people like reading? Who is reading these books? How are people talking about these books? How are these conversations happening online? And where? End quote. TikTok says they'll be selling physical books in bookshops, though we have yet to see details on whether that means online or brick and mortar stores. Quote, TikTok has had a major impact on the publishing industry and bestseller charts the last few years, says Creamer. For authors such as Colleen Hoover and Sarah J. Maas, BookTok clout has translated to massive sales. Chelle, well, TikTok's going to be around for 20 years, so there's nothing that could happen that would mess with this.
No, there's no market conditions or legal challenges or anything out in the
Nothing,
ecosphere. None, none,
nothing.
none.
So it's just just a ho hum story about publishing.
Yawn. Yawn.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird context with this because of the legal happenings. We
Yeah,
don't know, uh, that is so late breaking kind of thing. We don't know by the time this episode publishes on December 18th where even that will be.
right.
But um given all the context behind it, what do you find interesting about this, if anything?
So I think it is interesting that it's almost the tail wagging the dog, right? They've seen how popular Book Talk is and
Right.
how Book Talk absolutely does move the needle. There's
Yes.
no question about it.
Yeah.
And so, now they're sort of kind of reverse engineering what's going to happen and how they're going to do it. So it will be interesting to see how that translates because, most books, especially with Book Talk, are done via recommendation
Yep.
from people. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that they are great books.
No.
or, and by great books, I don't mean books that sell well. I mean books that have longevity. I mean books that satisfy
Mm,
reader expectations, right? Because you can get a lot of buzz. Anybody can get buzz, right? You can pay for buzz, but
right.
is that a book that has legs? Is it going to last? And so it's interesting to see what their selection criteria is going to be,
Yep.
how they decide who is making those recommendations, who they're listening to. It'll be interesting. But of course, that's all dependent on if they're even around.
It is, and we have to talk about that briefly here. I mean, the US isn't everywhere. If
Right,
TikTok is blocked in the United States, it will
right.
still be available in other countries.
It will.
And so this, could allow There's still to be sales in brick and mortar in the United States. It's not like it will block every single thing.
Yeah.
But certainly, if TikTok is blocked in the US and if it is a significant enough block where it's blocked on IP addresses and it's very, very hard to get onto TikTok, that will certainly impact whether or not this is a success.
I think it impacts, moreover, it's going to impact the content creators, right?
Oh,
Because the
sure.
creator fund is only available in the United States. And so if you take away that significant portion of their income, they don't have incentives to make book talk content
Right.
anymore, except for the love of the books, which, let's be honest, is wonderful, but that's not going to pay their bills. So if
Right.
there's a user generated content creator that's out there that has a significant following on TikTok, and now they're not able to tap in and make money based on that, will that go away? How's that going to change? What's the incentive? Those are all questions that I'm not sure we know the answers to yet, of course.
Yeah. I mean, so much about this story is going to change as we go into January. So much of what we know about what a ban would look like if it happened is going to
Right.
change as we go into January. Look, let's scrap these hot potato wisdom questions and just talk about this, Chelle. Do you think it's really going to happen?
I do. I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that I think there will be legally, from what I've seen, they do have a legal leg to stand on. Whether that's
Right.
the right thing to do, whether it's what the popular opinion wants, set all of that aside. I think it'll happen in one form or fashion. There's obviously people that are migrating over to ByteDance's sister site, Lemonade, which
Mm-hmm.
is not sort of connected to the ban at this moment. Really, they're focused on TikTok, but there's TikTok has really changed the landscape of publishing, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
doubt about it. It's going to be very, very challenging if it does go away. There's going to be a lot of people that are impacted financially, but I do think there will be some disruption unless ByteDance decides to, sell to a U.S. company.
Yeah. I mean, my big question that I don't know, maybe you have insight into this. Um, will if there is a ban, there's levels of ban. There
Right,
is, TikTok just can't be it can't be downloaded in the Apple or the Android store. That's one level of ban,
right,
but otherwise it's still around. There is the level of it will literally be blocked in all US IP addresses, and you'd have to go on a VPN in order to access it, which a lot of people would not go to the trouble of. Of course, there's that level, and then there's like the nuclear option of it just stops working
yeah.
one day.
I
Uh,
don't think that's going to be the case. I
yeah,
don't. I think you're right. There are levels of it, um, but the main one is not so much the connectivity and the technical part of it. It's, are they going to be able to regulate and take away people's ability to make money as a
yes,
creator on the app? And I think, the United States, through its FinCEN and through IRS, has proven, yeah, they can. They can seize accounts, they can shut things down, they could shut down Stripe accounts, they can shut down payout accounts. So I think that's probably the spear, more so than anything else. Is they're
mm-hmm,
going to remove the incentive for people to be there
right,
financially,
right, which
which
of
is
course
tough.
affects people's TikTok shops, their creator fund, anything.
All of it.
Yeah,
All of it. So it'll
yeah,
be it'll be interesting. There really isn't there isn't an alternative in terms of, Instagram Reels or Facebook
yeah,
Shorts. There's nothing that compares to it.
yeah. They look like it, but they don't act like it.
They don't act like it. The vibe is not there, as the cool
No,
kids say, right?
yeah,
There's just, yeah, it's plus there's a trust factor. The demographic that tends to use TikTok, although it's very broad. Gen X is there as much as anybody else, and boomers are there as much as anybody else, but the main drivers are that 18 to 35 demographic, which is, they're heavy readers, they're heavy
mm-hmm,
adopters of new tech. So it's going to be there's going to be some disruption, I think, but
yeah,
how significant, we'll
yeah.
yet to see.
I'm gonna put money on it's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm going to put money on it's not going to happen, or the ban will be so light that it won't actually impact anyone using the app. Like, just you won't be able to download it or something.
Yeah.
That's my guess, but nobody knows.
Nobody knows. I think if
Nobody knows.
anything, 2024 has proven no one knows
Nobody knows.
anything.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna get into the lightning round in a second here. But I'm excited to go into some of these. We've got some good questions here. Chelle, if you would completely of your own person create another lightning sound.
Oh, sure. Let me just
Pull it.
let's see.
Conjure. Ooh,
That was
that's
a
good.
little
Real
anticlimactic. It was a little
subtle.
baby sound.
It was a little. It's like you
Little
count
baby.
your 5 seconds. It's 5 clicks away.
That's
So
a little baby sound.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Chelle, what were some of your biggest surprises from Author Nation?
Oh. How much people love those couches.
That's
How much people love those conversation pits. Those were I don't want to say that they were surprises necessarily, but I think I was very pleasantly gratified to see how much fun people had, how much they learned, how much feedback we've gotten. You know, we asked people to rate the sessions, which was new this year, and we had 92% of people rate them 4 or 5 stars for every session. All 218 got great reviews, which that surprised me, to be honest, because you always look for that's how you learn, right? As you look for the icky stuff, and there were very few things that we got wrong. There's just a few things that we're going to tweak and make better. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You've got a question for me.
I do have a question for you. My question for you is, what was your biggest surprise from your recent retreat for six-figure authors? You got to hang out with some of my favorite people.
I know. We had Lisa Vino there. We were chatting with Jeffrey Mason, who I was just telling you about off of the air. Raven Storm, really cool people. And what I found is that even the most incredible author, there are going to be little blind spots there. There's going to be little things they don't see, and that's why it's so nice to get into a room with smart people to hash it out. We had a lot of. I said we were going to reframe hot seats, which is very like male entrepreneurial thing, to like me. We called them me times, and so we had our me times, and it was so cool. Just like one author was like, well, I'm getting a little distracted in the morning. We're like, oh, how are you getting distracted? It's like, oh, I'm going on Reddit. It's like, oh, well, let's delete the Reddit app from your phone. Let's do it right now. And it's like, okay, boop, break the pattern. Break the pattern. One author was like, so you're saying, Brian, as I was talking about 7-figure advertising, you're saying that if I have one book that's 50% of my income, I should run more ads to it. I'm like, yes, in fact. But it's like, if you don't talk to people in an environment where those things can be like, where you feel cool to talk about that, because you're not going to talk about it in a room with people who you don't feel are your peers, then it's not going to happen. And so as a result, like, I'm just so excited that even these small things that are, it's not dissimilar advice than I would give to someone kind of starting out. They're going to make big changes from those small suggestions.
You know, soaking up the wisdom in the room is probably one of my favorite phrases, but it's true, right? You get in a room with smart people that, you know, there's all these quotes about you're surrounding yourself with the 5 people and you rise to that level or fall to that, whatever. But I've seen that happen over and over and over again, where you get in a room with people and you're at the same level for the most part, and you get to hear what they're doing. And a lot of people go into that with preconceived notions that I'm not going to learn anything. And if they're open, they're going to come out with a million new exciting ideas. So yeah. I love those kinds of groups. When you and I talked about it in February, I was very sad that I couldn't jump right on there and come hang out with the cool people.
Oh, that's okay.
The cool kids club. Yeah, we
Next
both
time.
had FOMO this year for sure.
We did a little bit. We did a little bit, and that's okay. I love this question from Roland Denzel, who hunts down the show notes, who we both love. So shout out to Roland. You've been invited to a white elephant party, and you need to bring a $25 gift for authors. What do you bring, Chelle?
Okay, so I absolutely love Roland for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is he forced me years ago, not forced me, he encouraged me years ago to pay attention to fitness and to pay attention to things like stretching and standing up, and I have a standing desk because of him, and I have an ergonomic keyboard because of him. And so my $25 white elephant gift would be a great keyboard, even though, and you can buy them for under $25. So
Yeah,
I would bring an amazing keyboard, probably one that clackety clacks, that has the mechanical style, maybe even one that looks like a typewriter, because I'm kind of vintage and retro and old school.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome.
What do you think? What's a great gift for a friend who keeps talking about wanting to write a book?
So I think for someone who's like, oh, I love seeing what you and your author people do, I think you buy them some probably a month worth of Cave Day.
Oh,
You buy them a month of Cave Day, which you knew from your reaction. It allows you to body double, allows you to be in the room where other people are doing work. You give them the space to be able to work.
yeah.
And we do this in our author ad school. We have 3 silent writing rooms every day where people can come in and write, and you don't have to, like, it's not like, oh, 45 minutes, then we'll all chit chat. It's just totally silent. Other people are writing. People have written entire books in these rooms.
I love
And
it.
and that sort of thing allows you, if you're not getting words on the page, to actually do it, to actually research, to actually do the thing. And I think for someone who's just starting out, that is going to make a huge difference.
It is going to make a huge difference. You know, what's funny is I did not know that I was ADD and I had ADHD until TikTok. TikTok helped me diagnose that. And so now I do things like body double, and I do things like think about my executive dysfunction and how I can make things easier. We talked last week about buying back time and all the things that you know can do. But yeah, body doubling is all the things that we do in the course of that, making it simpler for ourselves. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, same. Absolutely. So, last question of the lightning round. What are some of the easiest things you think, Chelle, that an author can automate?
Social media.
Woo-woo.
Social media. And it's usually on everybody's suck list, right? Because I say this all the time, and I hear this all the time. People want to be on social media for the connectivity, but the algorithm demands to be fed. And so they have to post, they have to post, they have to post. And now we've got not just Facebook and Instagram, but now we've got Blue Sky, and we've got Threads, and we've got, you know, all the different social media networks where people have claimed their name but don't know what to do with it, and you know, want to have conversations, but you know, they have to post 3 times a
Yep.
day, blah 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 blah. So social media is the quickest and easiest thing that you can automate.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely agreed. Shall we need a question of the week?
Oh,
We've talked about TikTok and if we think
yeah.
it's going to get banned or not. Could be an interesting question. We talked about the great gift question. Well, this will be posted 1 week before Christmas, and so people might still be able to give some gifts to the writers in their lives. What would you like to ask?
I would like to ask, what is on an author's suck list? What is the thing that you hate to do that you want to figure out how to automate? What goes on your suck list? Is
I
it
love it.
payroll? Is it gathering all of your sales data in one place? Is it your taxes? Is it watching YouTube videos and figuring out what to glean from them? Like, there's all kinds of things that we should do or have to do. What do you not want to do? What do you hate to do?
I love it. I love it. Great question. You can answer that over on sellmorebookshow.com or the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group. Chelle, if I'm a newer author and I get overwhelmed easily and I want to go to get the Indie Author Magazine, where do I start?
Yeah, go to indieauthormagazine.com. We have some selected articles there that'll kind of guide you into your different journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're a brand new author, we've got some articles that'll get you started there. We've got some articles for people that have published but want to know how to sell more or to optimize their journey. And then we've got ones that are like high level mastermind. Here's how you hack the system and plug into the matrix. So we've created journeys for pretty much everybody at indieauthormagazine.com.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Chelle,
Thank
for
you,
being
Brian.
here. This was super fun.
It was super fun. We don't hang out nearly enough.
I know. We're putting it on the schedule.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Click.
automate that.
Yes, automate it. Automate it. I love it. Definitely all go check out Indie Author Magazine at indieauthormagazine.com. Go check out authournation.live. Go get a ticket. Go see Chelle's handiwork there as program director. And yeah, if you're interested in getting some coaching, come to me. The application form is over at sellmorebookshow.com. But Chelle, hey, if I don't see you, I hope you have a great holiday.
Have a very, very happy holiday season, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And to all of you, y'all are probably going to be enjoying your festivities before you get to our next episode. So happy holidays to all. Thanks. Christmas and Hanukkah start on the same day this year. So get excited for everyone like me who's celebrating a little bit above. It'll be interesting bringing the menorah to the in-laws
It will be
this year, but we'll make it work.
It's
And yeah. But be good, everyone. We'll be back next week with another episode of the show. So have a great week of book selling, and we'll see you for episode 559. Bye.
Bye.